Hello, my dear little friends. Hope all of you are doing great and enjoying my stories. I know all my cutie pies over there love friends, do you? So, today I am going to tell you a story about a great friend of God. And do you know what his name is? Abraham. Abraham lived in a place called Ur. This was the place where people went to live after the flood. It was an important city with some nice homes in it. The people here worship false gods, and these false gods were worshipped in Babel too. Now the people in Ur and Babel were not like Noah and his son Shem, who kept serving Jehovah God. Now, my dear friends, 350 years after the flood, our faithful Noah died. It was just 2 years later that the man you see was born. He was a very special person to God, and his name was Abraham. He lived with his family in that city of Ur. Now, one fine day, Jehovah God told Abraham, "Leave Ur and your relatives and go to a country I will show you." Did Abraham obey God and leave behind all the comforts he had in Ur? My sweet children, suppose you too were a friend of God. I know you are a friend of God, but suppose if God tells you, leave all your family members, your siblings, and go to a faraway land that I tell you. Will you obey God? Here, Abraham did obey God. And it was because Abraham always obeyed God that he came to be known as God's friend. Now, Abraham and his family left Ur. Some of his family members and his father, Terah, also joined him. His nephew, Lot, and of course, Abraham's wife Sarah also went with him. Days went by, and finally they arrived at a place called Haran, where Abraham's father, Terah, died. Now they were very far from their hometown, Ur. After a while, Abraham and his household left Haran and came to the land called Canaan. There, God said, "This is the land that I will give to your children." Abraham stayed in Canaan and lived there in tents, happily thereafter. God blessed Abraham with great flocks of sheep and other animals and hundreds of servants. But Abraham and Sarah did not have any children in spite of all the riches they had. Many years passed. Abraham is now 99 years old. Jehovah God said to Abraham, "One day I promise that you will become father to many nations of people." But, my dear friends, how could this happen since Abraham and Sarah were too old to have a child? We will be hearing about that in our next story. Now, children, how did you like today's story? Do you also want to become God's friend like Abraham? When I was your age, after hearing this story, I wish to be a friend of God. Yes, my loving kids, if we obey God in all and please Him, we too can become God's friend and enjoy all the blessings that God gives us. My sweet little pies, please do share with your friends and do click on the like and the bell button so that you get notified. Until I come with an exciting story, do please stay safe and healthy. Let's pray for the whole world to fight this pandemic we are facing. God bless you all. Your loving Benzie Auntie. Bye. Take care.